Okay, we're going to set up and save our first litchi mission. So first of all, you want to log in to flyalitchi.com/hub, as seen up here. Here I am, I'm logged in up here. We're going to go mission, new, and you want to navigate to wherever you're going to fly. So if you need to scroll around or you need to search on a location, certainly do that, but grab the area that you're going to plan to run your mission at. So we'll go over to this area over here. We'll pick this guy's house right here. And what we'll do, you'll want to go down to settings first of all. Take a look at what the settings are. Make sure they're set for Imperial. Heading mode for now we'll set as auto. Finish action. So here you can say don't do anything, or if there's a problem, return to home, or back to number one. We're going to leave it as none. We want to have curved turns. The only thing you need to watch for is if you're going to have an action at a certain waypoint, like taking a picture or video, then you're going to have to put straight lines. We'll set our default cruising speed. I'm going to put it at, say, 20 miles an hour. Max flight, we'll just bump that up a little bit. I don't care about that. Default curve size, I like it to be nice and smooth, so I'm going to put this up. Here's the default gimbal pitch mode. We're going to put interpolate on here for now. We don't care about this, but we want use online elevation. Okay, so we'll save that, we'll close it. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to use our right mouse and just start clicking on waypoints. And what we're making is waypoints right here by clicking the left mouse button. And you'll see by looking on here, it's got a default altitude of 98 feet. Now we can change that. And the default speed is the one we set before, okay? But let's just go ahead and let's just put out some waypoints right here. I'm going to go here, here. I'm going to move this around. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here, 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 and I'm going to go around this club that we have here. And then what I'm going to do is with the left mouse button, the right mouse button, I'm going to click over here. That's going to make a point of interest. So see how it's different? Okay, there's a point of interest. You notice the altitude is 3 feet. I'm going to bump it up to call it maybe about 20 feet, something like that. That's good enough. Okay, then when I add another waypoint here, notice it's got a point of interest of 1. It's going to start looking at that as it goes by. And we'll pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Oops, I'm going to delete that last one. Just a mistake I made. And then we'll call that good right there. Okay. So now I've got all these waypoints in right here, and then kind of take a look at them. Just by landing on that first one, I can kind of go through and see what they're doing. So here it shows that my gimbal pitch is at 0 degrees. I'm going to leave it there for now, but normally I'm going to want to move that down to like -15, -20 degrees. And it's gone to pit number 2, number 3. You can see what it's doing here. Look at the... And all of these, they default to the point of interest 1. Now, I might not want that, okay? I might want to come in here and say none on these. So I might want to click on these, say I don't want it looking at any point of interest. You get the idea. And I can tweak this, so I can do multiples. by hitting the control key on the PC, and I think it might be the command key on the Macintosh. I'll click and I can do multiples. And I can say, you know what? For all of these, I want you to go minus 15 degrees. And then I hit apply. So all the ones I selected are minus 15 degrees. I think I can also do a select all by hitting a couple of these. And hit select all. And hit, I'll say minus 20 degrees. And apply. Oops. I'm going to delete that last one there. The problem you have to watch when you move around and grab the screen with your mouse is that you don't accidentally grab a new waypoint. So you can see all of these are minus 20 degrees. Okay? All of these still use this point of interest that I had, and I'm only going to do one of these. I only want a couple of these to look at that point of interest. So my mistake here. I'm just taking none away. Okay, so this one, that waypoint, that waypoint, that waypoint, that waypoint, that waypoint. We'll let those look at this point of interest. Everything else will say none. This one will say none. Okay, there we go. So we've got kind of a first mission. Oops. So I did that again. Kind of look at it there. So let's save that. We'll call it, we'll save it. I'm going to call it test 1. Save. Now what I want to do is I want to save this as a virtual litchi mission, and then I want to look at it in Google Earth. So I will go and do that. So missions, export as VLM. I'll call it test 1. I'll hit save. And then I'll go load this up and we'll see what it looks like in Google Earth. So now we've got that file in Google Earth, and we come over here, we can see it. It's called test 1. I'll just scroll down just a little bit here and then open this arrow up. And when you open it up, you'll see that it's got a virtual mission and it's also got diagnostics. So what do you want to look at when you simulate this mission? You can see the waypoint path, you can see the waypoint markers, you can see the smooth flight paths. I'm going to take everything but waypoint markers off here. Okay, so I've just got that. Then I can zoom in on this. See those markers. Now, if I want to simulate that mission, I'll actually watch it. I'll go over to the virtual mission and I'll double click on it. So that's going to simulate what happens when you load this mission on your smart app. You're running the Litchi app on your phone, and you've got it connected to your drone, and now you've gone into waypoint mode on your drone. You've loaded this mission called test 1, and then you hit the play button. This is what it should look like when it runs virtually. So first it's going to go up. It'll move around a little bit to find where the first waypoint is. Okay, there it is. So it's looking down at about 15 degrees. Remember, we set this to about 15 degrees. Now the speed that is running here, we can actually change the speed on the simulation to be different than the speed of the actual mission. Sometimes that's handy because you might want to simulate the mission quicker and go through it quicker than what the actual mission is. We'll come back to that in a little bit. That's a setting in the Litchi Mission Hub. But for now, we'll just make do with what we've got. So here it is. It's continuing to go through here, and you can kind of see all this. Down here, if you want to speed it up, you can. You can just speed it up by clicking on this. So we'll speed it up a little bit. It's coming over that building, and see it's swung because it's got a point of interest. So it's swinging to look at that point of interest 1. Now it may not actually do it that way when we fly it, and I can talk about that later. But notice that it's had that point of interest, it's swung to do it, now it's swinging back. And again, we may or may not want that, but I just want to give you a sense for how this is supposed to work. So it's done. It's each of these waypoints here, remember, has no point of interest. Just those few. Oops. Okay, see, there's a mistake there. It finished, and I think it's shooting back at the point of interest. We can look at that. Anyway, so that's what the mission looked like here. And we're going to go back to Litchi Mission Hub and then tweak it a little bit. So we can actually close this. Okay? Just say discard. We don't care that we saved that. Okay, so now we're back to Litchi Mission Hub. And I'm going to tweak a few things. Remember, we went to settings and we talked about heading mode. We set it to auto. But I want to have the drone swing around a bit when it gets over to that clubhouse. So I'm going to do custom. Okay? So what's happening is each one of these, the drone is kind of pointing over to that clubhouse. So you can basically change any one of these. Oops, there, I went again, added one. I can jump into one of these and I can look at see the heading on here, and I can change what I want that to be. Notice as I move this around, it changes what the drone looks at. So I can just go to each one of these waypoints, and I can tweak what heading I have the drone, or what direction I have the drone looking at. So I'm going to just tweak it where it kind of follows the path here for a minute. I'll keep it like that. That's probably okay there. You can see it moving. That's probably okay there. Okay there. Okay there. So here now it's actually swinging around a little bit to start to look at that clubhouse. I'm going to do it a little bit more. That's fine. This one. Out there. Out there. Now I'm going to start looking away. But I'm going to do it a little bit slowly. Okay, it'll be flying sideways here. That's okay. And we'll start swinging it back around so it ends looking there. Okay? Now we're going to save it again. Oops. And we'll again run over and export it as a VLM. We can just give it the same name and write over that one. Yeah, we'll replace it. Then we'll double click it, and that'll bring it up in Google Earth. Okay, now we're back up in Google Earth again. And again, same thing. It's shown under temporary places as test 1. And this time I'm going to hide everything in the diagnostics. I don't want to see it. I only want to run the mission. So I'll double click that. I'll run the mission. I can click this if I want it to run a little faster. Okay, the mission's going to run a little faster. And it's running down. It's got the gimbal down at 15 to 20 degrees. Notice the drone is twisting a little bit here. As it's getting ready, it's looking across at that clubhouse over there. So it's flying a little bit sideways. And it's going to spin around that clubhouse like we programmed. And it should move around as we go around it, which it does. Okay, now it's going to start straightening itself out instead of flying sideways. It'll start slowly shifting over. There we go. It's going to shift over, still fly sideways to where it's flying forward. And then it's going to stop, pointing back at where it originally started from. Groovy. Looks pretty good. Let's go fly that one, okay? Okay, so now we're going to run the Litchi app. So I'm going to press the Litchi app here. It comes up, and it is in landscape mode. So if I'm not already in it, I'll go up and hit here. I want to hit waypoint mode. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the little folder to open a file, and I'm going to scroll up until I see that mission that we just saved called Test 1. Okay, there we are. Right now it's important to note I'm not currently connected to my drone, but there is the mission. Now if I want to run that and I'm connected to the drone, I just hit the play. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. Once we hit the play and we're connected to that drone is going to fly that mission. We haven't done anything fancy yet with having Litchi turn on or off the cameras. Okay, we can talk about that later. But you can program Litchi to turn on your video recording, turn on and take photos. But here, for the sake of simplicity, when we run this mission, we'll just manually go in and hit the video recording button on here. That's it.